And here we are with Tommaso Bacconi. Good morning, everyone. Nice.
Here we go again.
Shall we
Hi,
go
everyone.
again? Nice to see you all. Um, so, Tommaso, an interesting demo today from you today with us. I think we have a lot to cover, and yeah, definitely interesting times. I don't know if you heard about Tim Rezo, the first
I,
French
I have, I have.
join,
I,
let's say, Cubbit to enter these highly regulated markets. And yeah, I think it's very interesting to say. Looking forward to see your demo today on Veeam. My name is Raffaele Giustini, and I present you officially our beautiful, handsome, full stack developer, Tommaso Bacconi.
I'm really too modest to accept all these compliments, but yeah, I'm a full stack developer. That's true, and everything else is not. I'm Tommaso Bacconi, and today we're about to see a really simple demo about how you can use Cubbit together with Veeam to secure your files, your virtual machines, and stuff. So it's a great period to secure your virtual machine, Raffaele. I think it's like a necessity. A necessity. Have you secured your files in the last weeks?
Of
Yeah.
course I did. Of course I did.
With
I mean,
end-to-end encryption, hopefully.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully with end-to-end encryption and also locking and versioning. But kind of look forward to see how we can implement that with Veeam. So without further ado, I would start with our presentation so that I might leave you time to show your demo. So yeah, today we're going to see how to use Veeam without paying egress or deletion fees. Um, if we have to define Cubbit in just a very few words, we can say it's just distributed cloud storage. So what differentiates Cubbit from classic cloud storage is that the data is geo-distributed. This means that it's highly resilient. We say hyper-resilient, and we're going to see in a while why it's hyper-resilient. It's sovereign because you can choose the place where you want your data to be there, and at the same time it's 100% S3 compatible, so you have all the suite, like let's say the case also with Veeam today. And the thing is that there is no extra cost for redundancy against what is the tendency of the market, let's say, to have, you have to pay double to get the redundancy, and in order to achieve the full failover of the buckets. In Cubbit, the redundancy is included in the service. Now, when we think about S3 compatible storage, this is very important because it can integrate with galaxy of software. And today we're going to see Veeam, but there are also all the QNAP, Synology. You can think of all the universe basically S3 compatible services, which is quite a lot. And Cubbit comes with all the features and the standards of ransomware protection, of object locking, versioning, and all, let's say, the policies that you can set on the bucket in order to let the people that you want to let them to access the bucket. So this is extremely important, and it's quite fast thanks also to the multi-part upload. You can think with Cubbit to any kind of cloud strategy that comes to your mind. You can use hybrid cloud, you can use multi-cloud, you can use even cloud to cloud if you want. And in some cases, which we're going to see in a few weeks, is going very exciting to see the S3 Composer. You can even think it on-prem. So without further ado, this is the first layer of security that Cubbit ensures. Let's see now the other layer. When you think about geo-distributed Cubbit storage, is that we don't have data inside one centralized data. So there is a synchronous copy of the data in many, many, many nodes. In what you can see here from this very exemplificatory picture is that your file is, before of everything, is encrypted. And this is a request which is highly demanded by, let's say, markets in which the privacy of the data is extremely important. I wouldn't say utilities, I would say healthcare, I would say finance, extremely important. But other than just encrypting the data is then split into chunks and distributed thanks to our beautiful software that we developed, which is called the coordinator. And then there is also another layer of security, which is the redundancy. So this means that the redundancy is ensured by the Reed-Solomon algorithm. Maybe Tommaso will explain a bit later that. I'm not definitely into the technical details, but if you remember the compact disc from a few times ago, even if you scratch it, you were still able to hear the music coming outside from the compact disc. And here the mechanism is the same. So you need just half of the fragments, whichever half of the fragments, to rebuild the data. And this makes the data extremely resilient, even more, let's say, than the 11 classic nines of durability, which can arrive in our calculation even to 15 nines and even 16 nines. So about the features, it's the classical S3 suite that you can get. So you have the versioning, the object locking, the aspiration data lake sharing, which is quite helpful if you're sharing sensitive information. We have a few cases in our customers where they want to share information, for example, with the public force and the police, and this data is really sensitive. So it's extremely interesting case, I would say. Then you can, of course, achieve the multi-user collaboration, and yeah, all the M policies, basically everything that S3 does have. So on this point, we are pretty aligned with the standard of the industry. Why choosing Cubbit? If you have a concern of your data, where is your data stored, and actually why you want to be the owner of an infrastructure of the data, this is indeed this is called cloud repatriation or digital sovereignty. Indeed, Cubbit is, in one of the reasons that you should choose Cubbit over some other services, because we think that, especially in these times, in these harsh times, cybersecurity is extremely important, and being compliant with GDPR and all the ISO standards is extremely important. Second, the resiliency. As we said, there are many copies at the same time with no extra cost. And but the fact that resilience is included, this means that also the cost, it's a considerable cost reduction for organization who might want to have, more than one copy. And finally, there is also something which is considered very important these days, which is the sustainability side. And about the sustainability side, also you have, let's say, the fact that we rely on efficient hardware, and let's say it decreases our CO2 emissions. For what concerns the security and resilience, what we say is that we have this zero knowledge approach. So the data, when enters our, let's say, software, we're not even able to see what's inside of it. And this is what makes it fascinating. So, you have this extremely private information, and we cannot, like Cubbit, access it in any possible way. Then there is end-to-end encryption. We have also the GDPR and the ISO compliance. And so, to sum it up, we have this double layer of security against ransomware attacks, which, alas, are more and more frequent. I mean, the country which were founded, Italy, is the third most hit country in the world by ransomware attacks. And we know also that the political scenario nowadays probably puts this as one of the top cyber threats that CIOs and IT managers over the world, I would say, have to, face. So we are, in this sense, the pioneers of distributed cloud. And recently we partnered with Exclusive Networks and Leonardo, which was a major achievement for a startup like us to work with such important players who are successful in the cybersecurity world, like Exclusive Networks, and Leonardo as one of the main players in the cybersecurity and in the defense industry. I think this was a very significant moment for us. And other than that, we are also supported by the European Union, the European Commission, and we are, in fact, Gaia X, the association for the cloud, for making it possible, the European cloud, because as we know, 9 of 10 of our data is stored inside, let's say, American companies' servers. So this is a look of also what our customers. We are particularly interested in looking forward to work with system integrators, MSPs. If you have any question, of course, at the end of this, we might be able to exchange together, and how we might tailor your infrastructure, suiting your needs. So yeah, very looking forward to look what's your specific case, and we might be very happy to know if we can help you somehow. But without further ado, showing you also the technical side, I will give you the word to my colleague Tommaso to show you the way that Cubbit DS3 integrates with Veeam. So how does Cubbit work, Tommaso? Big
Thank you,
question.
Raffaele. You did a great job in explaining to us what Cubbit is and uh, what is the market in which Cubbit is moving. And I just want to add a couple of details about the Cubbit technology and then how you can integrate it with Veeam. Let's start from the architecture. Raffaele mentioned the geo-distribution and also the S3 protocol, but how how is this achieved actually in our technology? You see on the right this network of nodes, and this is what we call the swarm. And this is the peer-to-peer network with all these nodes in all the part of Italy that talk to each other, and where the files actually stand. The file fragmented and redundant after the redundancy is applied are scattered all over this swarm. And the swarm talk a peer-to-peer protocol which is translated into the S3 standard protocol through an S3 gateway. So any integration, any agent or client that is S3 compatible can talk to our gateway, and then each request is translated into the peer-to-peer protocol and sent to the nodes. On top of that, we have our coordinator that monitor the status of the swarm and also maintain the databases and make sure that everything is working fine. I will start now with the demo, so let's see how you can use Veeam and Cubbit together to backup securely and with immutability your files and virtual machines. First of all, there are two steps you need to take to start. We start with Veeam. First of all, you need to go to the backup infrastructure and create a repository, which we want to be Cubbit. So we add a repository, and we add an object storage repository, which is an S3 compatible, because Cubbit is S3 compatible. We should provide a unique name in order for it to be recognizable, and prompt a service point that in the case of Cubbit is s3.cubbit.eu. The region is Europe West 1, and then we are asked for the credentials, and where we can get those credentials from here, console.cubbit.eu. This is a web app, a web console that we implemented to kick off the other software. And like in this case, there is an API key section where we can create the API keys, and those keys will inherit the permissions of the user that is creating them. So in this case, I'm a root user of the project, so I have all the permission upon my buckets and stuff. So Veeam will inherit those permissions by entering the keys. So by clicking next, we are now able to access the bucket list. Of course, we didn't create any bucket yet, so we can go back to the console and also use the console to create buckets. We can do a lot more with this console, but we will see it in another demo. Let's prompt a unique name, a name that must be unique in the entire Cubbit ecosystem for this bucket. So maybe prefix it with your company name, and we're going to enable the object lock in order to have immutability. Let's keep the retention disabled because this is set by Veeam later. So the bucket is created, and we can go back to Veeam, browse the bucket, maybe go backward and forward in order to reload the configuration. Okay, now we can see the bucket since Veeam has the permission to list it. We can pick the bucket and then select the folder. So create and select the folder from this wizard. And let's select the backup virtual machine folder. Now we have a couple of more options. The one about limiting the consumption of the object storage. And the second one, most important, is about applying immutability. So if we flag that checkbox, we can specify a number of days during while our backup is immutable, so protected against ransomware, accidental deletion, also malicious insiders, etc., etc. I will choose like 10 days of immutability, and later on we will also try a deletion to make things clearer. Okay, we can hit next and proceed further. We can skip the mount server and leave it untouched. And Veeam will show us then a review, and it will start to create a database and configuring stuff. We have a bunch of logs here, and at the end we will get to a summary. So we completed the first step, which is the target repository. Now we just have another step to take, which is the creation of the actual backup job. We can do that in the home section. As you can see, our repository is listed here. So in the home section, we can hit the backup job, and we want to backup a virtual machine and start the wizard for this job. The job is the one that we actually take the files, deduplicate them, and put it on Cubbit. And we can also decide to schedule it, add incremental and stuff. We want to take a virtual machine called test, which is just 17 gigabytes of virtual machine, and then we want to select the target repository, which we called live demo Veeam 12. The retention policy can be of 10 days, since less than 10 days, nothing gets erased. In the advanced section, we have some options, like the possibility to create active full backups periodically instead of going incremental forever. If we keep this unchecked, we just going to have incremental backups. So just the chunks that we didn't are yet uploaded will be uploaded every time the jobs run. In this storage tab, we have some other optimization. For example, 1 megabyte here is recommended by Veeam, but we also observe that 4 megabytes are a boost on the performance. So I suggest to pick 4 megabytes from this selection. Okay, egress processing, we can leave it untouched, we're not interested. And then from here, we can schedule the backup. We can, as I think you already know, you can schedule the job daily, monthly, or whenever you want, maybe Saturday night when the bandwidth usage is at its lowest. We're not interested in scheduling stuff right now, since for the demo, we just want to run it once. So we completed the configuration. Now we can look for our job in the list and hit the start button. Through the statistics, we are provided with some information about the progression of our backup. As you can see, we see the processed gigabytes, the transferred one, and I will just skip to the end and save you the time spent on this. We see some logs, we see the success status, we see that out of 17, Veeam actually transferred only 6.5 gigabytes, thanks to the optimization that it performed on this data. From the console, we can navigate through the folder, see that there are a bunch of databases, blocks, stuff that are not understandable to anyone but Veeam, of course. And we can see that our retention is applied to this block. And we can do an experiment and try to delete it in order to test the immutability. If we click on delete the object gets deleted indeed, but only because it's a soft deletion. So we, being the versioning enabled, we just put a delete marker on top of the version stack. But if we try to permanently delete the block, we cannot. We receive an error. So let's restore it, the block as it is, and now let's try something else. We want to restore the virtual machine. This is the test virtual machine that is just a terminal. And in order to do that, let's put us in a situation that in which we lost some files. So I'm removing a files from here. Sorry for the command line, but what I'm doing is removing a file called demo file txt. and then closing the virtual machine. So we're now going to restore the entire virtual machine and see if we recover the file. That's the plan. Okay, let's go to the backup. Our test, we can see from our backup that the backup is about the test virtual machine. We can check out the option. We can restore some specific files. We only have one restore points since we only perform one backup job. Our one backup job run. In the files here in the list, we have some configuration file, VMX, etc., and the VMDK file that is the actual virtual machine disk, so the actual virtual machine we want to restore. We are just going to close this and go ahead and instead pick restore the entire virtual machine. Okay, let's pick the restore point. We want to restore it to the original location. And first of all, we need also to shut off the test virtual machine in order for it to be overwritten by the restore. So we are shutting down, and then we are asked for a result just for logs. And then we have another summary, and after that, the restore procedure will kick off. Okay, let's hit finish. As you can see here, we have some logs about the progression of the restore. We can close this model anytime and recover it from the left if we want to check out the status and see how many gigabytes we recovered until this point. Okay, I will skip to the end. Here we have a success status. So we restore 17 gigabytes out of 17. We see that the restore was completed, and now we can bootstrap again the test virtual machine in order to check if we recovered the demo text file. Okay, the virtual machine is healthy. We can open it, we can bootstrap in it, and I will just speed up also this part and go to the end. The command to list the files is in Linux is ls. So by writing ls, we can check out the files, and as you can see, we have between them this demo file.txt, which is the file that we erased and we recovered. So we did it all. We perform a backup of a virtual machine. We perform a restore of a virtual machine. So that brings me to the end of the demo, and I will give back the mic to Raffaele.
Thank you, Tommaso. It's been very interesting to see how actually the restore also works, rather than just the upload. It's been really, really interesting. So anything coming into your minds to all the people watching us while we talk? Do you want some things that we might want to clarify?
Yeah, we saw the restore, we saw the backup, and as the title of today's demos already states, we don't apply any deletion or egress fee on any of these operations. That's the most important part. So you're just going to have a Cubbit space, Cubbit storage, and that's it. You can there is no hidden cost and stuff. As you remind us also before, and that's I think that's the most interesting part of the demo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We might have some questions already. I don't know. Yeah, is the solution compliant with GDPR and NIS2 and the cloud regulation? Yeah, of course. As we said, Cubbit is particularly adept in the context where, highly regulated markets requiring full GDPR and NIS2 compliance. So yeah, I would say definitely is one of Cubbit's main strengths, let's say, to be legally compliant with many law regulations.
Okay, and please, if you have other comments, of course, write it down in the comment section. And I also invite you to check out our documentation, since we are always testing and writing guides about any S3 compatible software. And you can find here the docs. We just posted it in the thread. And everything you need to know about Cubbit, you will find it there.
Yeah.
And of course, you can reserve a one-to-one. You can schedule some time with Raffaele and me if you're curious about how Cubbit works. You want to that we tailor a solution for you. You want to know other use cases. Just ping us in this and reserve a call at this link.
Yeah. Thank you, Tommaso. Before saying bye to you, actually, it's worth reminding you of the next upcoming events. First, we have this cloud compliance, let's say for our Italians, let's say for the Italian people who follow us, this will be in Italiano. The title will be Cloud Compliance di Scuole e Pubblica Amministrazione, Risposte e Soluzioni. We will host one of our partners, Easy Team, and it will be nice to discuss with them. As before, we had a question now from them to how can we get GDPR and NIS2 compliance? Well, this is definitely interesting for all our Italian MSPs and system integrators. And I would say the highlight of the month is definitely the demo of our DS3 Composer, and we were going to show you always in English on May 23rd at 11 a.m. how to build your own cloud storage in minutes with DS3 Composer. I mean, this is something, in my opinion, very interesting to see. Disruptive technology at work where you can build your own cloud storage in just minutes. So yeah, if you want to understand fully what is Cubbit, this is a must event for sure.
That's very exciting. I look forward for it.
Thank you, Tommaso. I leave you my QR code if you're interested in delving into the, let's say, the Veeam integration more. I'm more than available, and Tommaso is too, wherever you are joining us from the world. So thank you very much for being here with us. Thank you very much, Tommaso, for going
Thank you, Raffaele.
details of how to restore everything. It's been, even I'm not a tech guy, I could understand all the details. So I would say that it was clear.
Okay, so have a good day, everyone. Let's keep in touch.
Let's keep in touch. Thank you. Ciao.